Imagine this: Yalta, Crimea, the place of Yalta Conference of 1945. Nice sunny day, Livadia Palace. That's a luxurious palace built by the Englishmen for one of the Russian counts in the past. All is quiet. All of a sudden, big black cars start coming. Hordes of big black cars. Secret Service agents, pop out of them. Of three countries send their representatives: Russia, the USA, and Ukraine. The Secret Service men start flooding the Livadia Palace and all the vicinities. They check every corner for safety and they kick out regular people, the employees of the museum, and of course the tourists, and of course the American and the Ukrainian presidents arrive first. And they wait. Of course. And they wait some more, and then they wait even more. And about 2 hours later, President of Russia, Vladimir Putin, arrives. The mighty emperor. At his steps, the earth shakes. He comes into the grand white hall of Livadia Palace, where Yalta Conference actually took place almost 100 years ago. There's a huge map of Europe, Russia, Ukraine, and red lines all over it. Putin shows the other leaders at the map. The two presidents are sad, and they humbly accept what Putin tells them. They look small, insignificant, and crushed. They nod in agreement and sign papers. Parts of Ukraine officially become a part of new Russian Empire. Russian populace, the serfs, the workers, jump up and down and shout out, "Bravo, bravo!" The nobility, a few thousand people of them, a few thousand members of nobility, kneel in front of Putin and submit to his power. They're happy and loyal. Putin goes down in history as... But that's an open question. It's always open question. Because at that very moment, always, Vladimir Putin wakes up, just before seeing in his dream who he goes down in history as. Well, what I just told you is what I think his dream might be. He must have had it day after day for years, such a sweet dream, such a sweet goal, sweetness. Because if not for the dream, then Russian people who have organized this atrocity in Ukraine and continue, they seem to be delusional. Let's take a closer look at that. Howdy everyone, my name is Konstantin and welcome to Inside Russia, where I give you important news updates and explain that what's really happening inside Russia. What you will not find on this channel is lies, BS, and propaganda. What you will find on this channel is truth, logic, and common sense, and emotions, because I am a human being. Inside Russia is where usual Russia, explained by the unusual Russian. For the first, for 30 or so minutes, I give you daily message, and then I invite everyone to carry on to live stream chats, to converse, to ask questions, and giving me some words of encouragement. That's nice. I would love that. Thank you so very much for coming. Thank you for giving me another chance. Guess where I got the message for the stream? For my birthday. My birthday was 2 days ago, and I had roughly 50 calls from Russia, people saying congratulations, and about 50 people called me from Uzbekistan, mostly Uzbekistan. Now let's put aside the Uzbeks who called me. Let's talk about the Russians who called. All kinds of people I know, close family, distant family, friends, former colleagues, high school classmates, I still keep in touch. The university, the alumni of my university, my fellow students, people I went to the university with. And with some people I haven't spoken in quite some time. And with every one of them, um, when they called me up and said congratulations and so forth, I talked of things in general. You know what I mean? I was really surprised, shocked actually, to learn that quite a few people had the same position. First, nothing extraordinary is going on in Russia, life as usual. Second, this, none of them called this its real name, the war. This, they said, will continue for some time, from a year to year and a half, and then everybody will be forced to sit down and negotiate some peace agreements. And of course, I asked everyone what they thought the results of such a peace of agreements would be. And they said five people. Five people said basically the same thing. Whatever land lies the west of Dnieper River will remain to be Ukrainian. Whatever land lies east of Dnieper River, if you look at the map of Ukraine, Dnieper River is kind of like a divider. So whatever lays east will of course become Russia. What? To say I was shocked is to say nothing at all. Now, they weren't strangers calling me, okay? They all were people I know. I conversed in the past, I worked with, I studied with, I know. There are no animals, there are no real bad people. I just don't keep in touch with people like that. Mostly decent folks. Thank goodness none of them were my close friends and my family. Thank goodness. Just people that I knew. I failed to understand logic. That's like a riddle. I don't understand. But then, bit by bit, many small pieces started getting into one big picture. And it led me to, well, surprise, to the Russian government and to Vladimir Putin himself. Vladimir Putin has been cosplaying Stalin for a while now. First, when he became the president, and then he became president for the second, third time, he was cosplaying the czars. Peter the Great in particular, that was kind of a general idea that Russian media propaganda was very gently, almost silently, almost invisibly pushing onto Russian people. Some politician mentions this lightly here, and then some show business person says it in another way there. And this is how they weave a web, a spider web, people caught there. But it wasn't pushed aggressively. Get this, even Patriarch Kirill, the head of Russian Eastern Orthodox Church, once said that his place is right next to the emperor as a patriarch. He must be right next to the emperor. Anyway, so it was the Tsar, Peter the Great. He would go down in history as a, I don't even know, Peter the Great. If you look closely at Peter, he was a monster. Anyway, the paradigm changed after a while. And about for the past 12, 13, perhaps 15 years, Putin started cosplaying none other than Joseph Stalin. He started recreating the ideas of Stalin and, executing them. Very centralized state, power in one hand, absolute power, powerful force of oppression, bodies of government like KGB and police force, crushing political opposition violently. So people would see how opposition is crushed and they would even dare to follow their paths. Terrorizing regular citizens, all Stalin ideas, okay, they resurfaced. And in the last 20 years, government kind of started renaissancing Stalin, I would say 15 years. Nikita Khrushchev debunked the cult of Stalin, and it was a great thing. That was the best thing he did as the leader of the USSR. Then for decades, Stalin was considered an animal, the butcher of Russia, the Russian people. The worst that Russia could give birth to. He displaced and killed so many people, nationals, of different ethnicity inside the USSR. Tatars, Chechens, Crimea Tatars, Stalin is just, my gosh. I was growing up and none of us made a mistake about Joseph Stalin and who he was. Our teachers were very clear. The murderer of millions and millions of people. There was nothing good about Stalin. Nothing. He was, I don't know, Darth Vader, even worse. Then, all of a sudden, tide changed and they started bringing Stalin back. Bit by bit, tiny little steps, step by step, stepping stones. The Russian government is excellent at doing stepping stones. The mood turned kind of neutral to Stalin. Not pro-Stalin at first, but neutral, from bad to neutral. Most likely, the sociologists and marketologists gave Putin advice to play Stalin, to cosplay Stalin, So he started seeing himself as a supreme leader with absolute power of murdering millions of innocent people, changing countries' borders, invading other countries, taking them and changing the map of the world. I think he might have started having the dream that I mentioned in the beginning of the stream. The dream of him with a huge red marker at a map, world's map, at least Ukraine's map, And the new paradigm was born. Stalin wannabe decided he was mighty as Joe himself. And he decided to take Ukraine, to invade Ukraine, to take Ukraine's land, to lie Russian people, and to basically kill thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, I don't know, Ukrainians. And we all know what happened since then. In the beginning, Russians advanced deep into the territory of Ukraine, all the way to Kherson and Kiev. They pushed in real quick because, obviously no one in Ukraine or very few people were expecting that Russia, its neighbor, would attack and start killing their people. So Russian troops, pushed forcefully and quickly, and they took Kherson, and Russian propaganda started shouting out loud, "Oh, we'll take Ukraine in no time. We'll take Ukraine in 2 weeks. We'll take Ukraine in 3 days." And they started pumping this idea that, Ukraine is the embodiment of evil and it's run by evil Satanists from America and it's full of Nazis and things like that. They started pumping it like a gas fuel into the minds of regular Russians. And quite a few of them had matches ready. So that fuel went on fire, and people turned into Z patriots, and Z patriotism was born in Russia. But then things did not go as expected. First Kiev, then Kharkov, then Kherson. We all know what happened. And now, for the past 4 months, Russia has been fiercely advancing, making an offensive in Ukraine. And guess what? Nothing. I'll remind you, if you've forgotten, Russia right now is under a huge offensive. They can't even take Bakhmut. But anyway, now it's easy to say that Vladimir Putin, and he has brought Russia and himself into a zugzwang. I've said it many times. It's a position in chess where every move will place the player in a worse position. Russian government started sending signals about possibility of peace negotiation since August of last year. The signals were from different sides, from different channels, and the signal was same thing. We want to negotiate. Only negotiations and peace can save Putin at this point, and he understands that, and I think the government people understand that very much, but they either don't care, or they're just told what they're told to do, and that they do what they're told to do. And then they've been trying to send different channels, the government, the president's speaker, giving interviews, sending channels. But they are saying to pacify Russian people something like, we want to negotiate, we're open for negotiations, but of course on our terms. Well, you can leave our terms behind the equation, because that's just for Russian people. That's for the Z patriots, so they don't rebel if they hear, oh, we want to negotiate and we'll leave Ukraine or whatever. That's Putin cannot push forward, he cannot push backwards. So, but anyway, the negotiations must start in the mind of Putin and in the mind of Russian government. But the thing is, the government, it changes its course quickly. But the Russian people are still in paradigm of Russia having the strongest army, or second strongest army in the world, and being able to take Kyiv in a few days. And minds of Russian people, they don't change that easy, okay? Something was planted there last year, and it's gonna stay there for a long time. And now, they think exactly what they told me. 5 people told me when they called me to say happy birthday. They think, well, most of them at least, think that Russia and Ukraine will negotiate peace at one point. At some point. When, they don't know, but they allow for, 18 more months. I'm really ashamed and appalled of the lack of empathy of these people, because 18 months, we have been fighting with Ukraine for 14 months now. 14. And they are in their heads. They already have allowed 18 more months. How many people will die? How many people in Ukraine will die? How many people in Russia will die? Russians. Well, none of them will probably die in Russia, but how many Russians will die? I mean, if they don't care for Ukrainians, don't they care for the fellow Russians? Well, obviously not. They don't care for neither. How many cities in Ukraine will be razed and destroyed by Russian rockets? But that's a different topic. Let's leave the lack of empathy behind. I don't understand. I don't understand what happened to those people. They used to be good. But anyway, those people in Russia who think that the map will be redrawn and Russia will add a good part of Ukraine, boy, they are up for a very, very rude awakening. I must say that there will be a map, all right. And the Russians will be drawing the red lines. But not to add new territories, but rather than to deduct the Chinese waiting anxiously in the far southeast of Russia, in the Manchuria region, and they already have their pencils ready and sharpened. They will not hesitate to grab a part of Russia and proclaim it historical land of China, just what Russia did to Ukraine. And then, you know what, it doesn't look really good for Russian army at this point because Ukrainians have beefed up their army and the West has supplied pretty cool weapons, and it just doesn't look like, what's gonna happen in the following month will be that great for Russia, if you know what I mean. I understand that. I foresee it. But I just don't understand how people who are in Russia and truly believe that Russia is so in such a position of power that it can wait for 12 or 18 months and then, will force other countries, and Ukraine in the first place would come and negotiate peace, and Ukrainians agree on giving up their land. I think Ukrainians will rather die than give up any of their land, at this point. But the Russians, they really think that's the case. I don't think that politicians are delusional in Russia. I think politicians know what's going on. I think Vladimir Putin knows very well what's going on. He's not delusional. But people who say that, regular folks, they are delusional. This, what has been happening to Russia, that has changed their minds, their hearts, and their souls. Forget about the mind now. The souls and the hearts. Where's the empathy? Where did it go? Okay. So this, what has happened to Russia lately in 14 months, is a tragedy. I do not forget about what happened to Ukraine, what is happening to Ukraine now, and that's atrocity. It's not even a tragedy, it's a different magnitude. That's atrocity. But I believe Ukraine has bright future, and the future will come soon. But what has been happening to Russia is a tragedy that will affect the country for generations to come. The worst kind of affection happened. People's minds have been affected, changed, and degraded. And that's a real, real tragedy. Folks, no matter what you do, always keep tabs on your government. Please, do not let your government get out of control. If that happens, then you will follow Russia's paths. Please, do not make your mistakes. Learn from ours. This has been my message for today. Thank you so much for coming and listening. I would like to invite everyone to carry on to our live stream chat. Just give me a second here, please. If you continue and carry on into live stream chat that I'm about to turn, I'd really appreciate that. That's my best part of this any stream and best part of the day, actually. Before I turn on comments, I would like to ask you a couple favors. First, would you please help me spread my message by making reposts and use social media accounts? That helps me. And would you please consider signing for my Telegram channel called Inside Constantine's Russia? The link will be in the description below. Also, if you'd like to buy me coffee, that'd be appreciated very much. Thank you. Thank you so much again for coming, and comments are on. Live stream chat is on. If you're not seeing it, please refresh, keep the refresh button, and voila. Lorna, Mommy, Harry Potnin, howdy friends, Amir, Blackad, and Bob, great to see you. Let me just do a little bit of tweaking here. Jimmy Penrose from Edgecombe, Maine. Howdy. Please say hello to the wonderful state of Maine from me. Consider it my second home. The way life should be. Folks, great to see everyone, the usual suspects. I think all of you are here. Would you please consider writing, if you want me to notice your message, would you please consider putting it in caps and putting Inside Russia after @ so it appears highlighted in a large orange box and I see it easily. Thank you so very much. Dominic is a new sponsor. Welcome to Inside Russia. Much appreciated. Thank you so much. Sam K. Carano, howdy. Last 107 from Central Maine, Constantine. We have lots of Mainers here. Great to see you, everyone from Maine. Not just from Maine, to Roy Cousins from London. What a fantastic city. Pine the Chair from Rotterdam, Netherlands. Amanda, howdy. Faith from Spain, hola. John. Mr. Kaliskian from Chicago. Nightbot is here. Sophie, howdy. Pavlia Flex. A little bit late, but still a happy birthday. Thank you so much. Never too late. You can say that all year round. Thank you. Charlie B from Pacific Beach, California. Robert. Hello, Constantine. First time I could watch your stream live for the first time. An honest Russian who calmly gives an overview. Much respect. Thank you so much. I'm from the Netherlands, by the way. Thank you so much. Howdy, Manos. Hope all is well. All is well according to the plan here. Micah Schultz, all the typical suspects, the usual suspects. White Lightning 777, how does Prigozhin get away with saying he'll put Wagner out of Ukraine unless he gets more ammo? If a normal Russian says that'd be arrested. Good question, but a wrong person to ask. I don't know how Prigozhin gets away with it, but I have only I guess, okay? And I guess he's untouchable at this point. But I guess that he is done because he's untouchable for not for a very long time. He's a dead man walking because he's about to lose the only resource he has, his private army. Once he loses it, he's gonna be, uh, a sniper without a rifle or something like that. You know what I mean? So, White Lightning, I don't know how he gets away with it. And you're absolutely right. If a normal Russian says that, they're arrested. Buffalo Bob, howdy, howdy. Thank you for your support. No message, but this message is pretty darn powerful. Multi-Daki, as usual. Alan, Nemo, Alexander, howdy, howdy, from Macedonia. Elsha, thank you. Baltimore, Maryland, USA is in the house. Oh, that's White Lightning. Oh, folks, you must forgive me a little bit. Don't leave. Never fails me, right? Just about when I start comments, boom. I don't know what it is. Buffalo Bob again, thank you. And Amir, Constantine Fast Week, worldwide celebration of your birthday. Thank goodness, not a year long celebration. Parties on. Thank you, Amir. Don Khan, God bless, peace and prosperity to all Russia. Well, can't argue with you here. I wish that Russia is right and prosperous. Laguna Niguel, Californian coast. California Oblast. It's not the coast, it's inland a little bit. Pretty cool place. Orange County, good schools, I know. Kaltenberg, howdy, howdy. Sam K, this is an English only chat. Yeah. Must be a joke or something. I'm sorry, I'm slow. I just keep on reading, and my mind works differently when I have to answer questions real fast. Ben Stevens, thank you for sending positive energy. Thank you so much. Lisa, hello. I hope everyone's having a wonderful Sunday today. Jodes Rames makes two of us. Me too. Janet Mills, Constantine, not how life should be. Almost. Let's not talk about American politics. But I hear you. Janice Burgess, howdy. Reichen H, hi from Sweden. Howdy, howdy. Sending my love to Sweden. Huh? Brianna B is in Buenos Aires? Wow. That's quite a long way. Glad to see you. Well, definitely glad to see you. What are you doing in Buenos Aires? Work? Nottingham, Nottinghamshire, England. Super Rosie, howdy. Carson Larrymore, it amazes me how in these modern times, where we all should have learned of past mistakes, there are still rulers who don't care, and how and when people die because of self-interest. Carlson, thank you for support, and it's not a question but a statement, but that actually does not surprise me because rulers are few. What really surprises me is how people, regular people, in this time of, modern time of technology and information flow, 21st century, how people allow rulers to be rulers. That's what it beats me. I don't understand why and how. Marjorie, almost missed. We'll have to play it again. So, what do you think might work out as a solution to end war? It's gonna be pretty radical. It's gonna be a defeat of Russia. And Russia will simply have to sit down. Will be forced. I think that things will happen inside Russia politically. There will be a political change or changes, quite radical. And then the new leaders will simply sit down and say, hey, it's not our fault, it's his fault. And he's gone. And, we'll do anything you say. And they will just sign peace treaty. And there will be red markers, there will be a huge map, but not the way that Putin envisions it, I think this is how it's going to end. And Russia's going to be fudged, Well, it already is, but it's just going to be official. But once we in Russia have gotten so far, there's no way back. No way back. There must be a cleansing of people's minds and people's souls. People would have to wake up from this lethargic sleep. They would have to be educate themselves, they have to learn. They would have to learn of what happened, the truth. And they would have to make hard choices. Okay? That's what I think that's going to happen. Jacob P., thank you so much for your support. Howdy, I would like to know your opinion on one thing. Are people who hire their own personal paramilitary company and send them to war legitimate targets of war? Again, I would like people who hire and send them to war. Oh, are those people who hire and send, are they legitimate targets of war? What if it's a company? Has corporate leadership also become a legitimate target? I understand the question. I think if someone steps forward and takes responsibility, like Prigozhin did, he definitely becomes a legitimate target. Or actually, not target for war, but target for international war crimes court. Okay? As far as I know, he's the only person who claimed such responsibility. And right now, there are quite a few armies, private armies in Russia. But guess what? You're absolutely right. There are companies, the corporations, Gazprom. Well, there are rumors. I didn't hear about that from any official source, but there are rumors that Gazprom was assembling own army, and oligarchs, some oligarchs, also assembling their own armies. This to me is actually a very big sign that people started understanding what's coming in Russia. And the only way to survive the chaos that will descend upon my country will be to have a private army. They're not assembling it to go and send and fight in Ukraine right now. They're assembling it to keep right next to them, to protect them, because when the civil war breaks out, that's not going to be pretty. Okay. If something happens, for example, tide changes completely and goes a different way, all those people will just disappear and say, it's not us. It's not, we just work for this company. Oh, I was a general director. I didn't know what was shareholders doing. Oh, I was a financial director. My signature is not on that. I'm innocent. I didn't know anything about that. And they will just, run different ways. And that's what's going to happen. It's going to be real hard to identify the true ones responsible, and the identified ones most likely will not be the ones who need to be punished. Who would need to be punished. Hope I answered your question. Thank you for your support, by the way. Not Magnus Carlson, thank you. Polish friend told me the reason Europe is against Russia is Lukashenko accidentally showed war map with invasion of Ukraine, Moldova connecting Transnistria. It's just the beginning. Interesting. Well, yeah, I didn't see that Lukashenko. I don't think Lukashenko does anything accidentally. Okay, if he showed something, that's not by accident. That's number one. Number two, I would believe that Moldova would be next target, and I made a stream about that actually in the past. And Transnistria has been under Russian influence for quite some time, and then it was just Moldova is not a huge country, it's fairly easy to take. But I don't think it's going to be the case. Russia militarily exhausted. It has basically at this point militaries. Well, let's put it this way: we will see how it's going to be holding up soon, and then you can make opinions taking into consideration how Russian military is holding up. I don't think it's going to hold up well. But time will tell, it's just my opinion. So, not Magnus Carlson, I hope I answered your question. Citizen X, thank you for support. I heard the same rumors. Back to feudal times, God help the people. That's where it's going to. Rumors, of course, that's one way of developing the situation, but that's definitely a way. Richard Burris, howdy. You mentioned traveling to 40 countries, and I wonder if you have a favorite. Keep up and analysis and commentary. Richard, close to 40 countries. I think 38 or 37 or something like that. So it's pretty close to 40. Let me answer question of Damien first, and Jodes Rames, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships to people from me and from 5 new members. Thank you. Crusader Damien, thank you for coming again. Your questions are the most thought-provoking. The end of this criminal war will come when Ukrainians destroy the Kerch Bridge. Crimea is the key to the whole thing. Change will come to Russia too when Crimea is liberated by Ukraine. Let's play this scenario a little bit. So, let's say that Ukrainians destroy the Kerch Bridge. All right. I don't think they will destroy it, but let's say they damage it enough so it's unusable. Um, what happens next? An offensive to Crimea? Well, and then what? Do Ukrainians take Crimea? Perhaps. Then what? Uh, do you think that Russian people will wake up because of that? And they will say, whoa, how is this possible? And the change will come inside Russia? So I don't think so. I think that Russians simply wouldn't care. They'll say, oh, Ukraine took Crimea. Oh, heck with it. I think this is what's going to do. They didn't say a word when Ukrainians took back Kherson. They did not say a word. 3 weeks before, there was a celebration. There was like the national holiday. Oh, Russia has new territories, blah, blah, blah. Then Russia lost it. Not one single person came up, stood up and said, wait a second, what the hell is going on? Why this happened? None. They just kept silent. They didn't care. They're not going to care about Crimea. That's what I think. Richard Burris, I'm going back to your question. What country is my favorite? Well, it depends. You can't say, what is your favorite food? I love when people ask me that because I don't have one favorite food. I like many foods. It depends on where I am. It depends on what time of year. It depends on what kind of situation. Sometimes I feel like having a grilled barbecue meat, and sometimes I have like having a Greek salad. Just different. So I can kind of try to generalize your question. If I were to pick a vacation spot, I would go to either Egypt, Turkey, definitely Turkey, and one of the countries in Southeast Asia, like Bali or Thailand or Sri Lanka or Maldives. Perhaps one of the Caribbean countries. I really like Aruba. It's pretty cool. Small island, very laid back, nice sea. Uh, if I were to pick a place to live, the United States of America, hands down. It's not a brainer. It's no brainer. Uh, I'd say if I was to pick the most beautiful country, we men have divided Earth into parts and called them countries. Earth is one and it's beautiful. No matter where you go, Earth is absolutely beautiful. It's just different parts of it are differently beautiful, but insanely beautiful anywhere I went. Starting with Mongolia and ending, I don't know, uh, Aruba, whatever. You know what I mean? So, the best mountains I've been to, the Alps, hands down, and the Rocky Mountains. But again, I have not traveled to the Himalayas and I have not traveled to the Andes. I didn't see those. Best places to ski, Colorado and Switzerland for me. So there are so many things to talk about different countries, and I can't say that this is one of my favorites. I have many favorites for different things. Brianna B, I'm traveling with two Russian expats and a child who left Volgograd for good. Oh, excellent, excellent. Quite a few Russians from Tashkent came left for uh, Argentina. Lots of Russian expats in Buenos Aires now, and it's a friendly city. It's a beautiful land with nice people. I'm happy you're well, Constantine. Thank you so much, Brianna. You know what? I want you to do me a favor. Please tell your friends hello from Tashkent. And anywhere you see Russians, tell them that we're saying hello from Uzbekistan, from International Tashkent Breakfast Club. Every morning we get together, and one of the questions we discuss is where to go next and how to get there. you know, everyone brings one bit of his or her expertise, and then we kind of share. And then Argentina has been the talk of the town for many people here. So please say hello from us. Thank you so for your super chat. Michael Schultz is a member for 8 months now. Fantastic. You will not believe it, but my lovely dogs are glad to occupy this special message just to announce time to went out. Rolf. Okay. Banff in Canada is epic, says last one to 07. Constant, if you ever get a chance to go there. Banff. I'm not, what is Banff? Joe's Rames. Natasha voted San Diego. Second that. Hang on. Natasha is enjoying Tashkent so much more than Moscow, by the way. Moscow is still cold, still not even spring by southern Russian standard, but Tashkent is summer. We have mid 80s every day. It's pretty cool. Captain, have you ever been to Australia? No, I have not. It's on my bucket list. I heard it's a fantastic country. John Mayer, greetings from Alaska. Still not Russian yet. I think you can relax, yeah. For the next couple 100 years, I think you're safe from Alaska becoming Russian. Dave Strains. I've never realized how beautiful Europe was until I started watching Constantine's channel. It's beautiful. Thank you so much. I wish I started my channel some 10 years prior to when I started, because I traveled so much. I traveled much more when I was younger, when I was single, and gosh, I could have filmed so much. This is exactly what Slava of Cool Vision and Russian Plus is doing right now. He just goes around and films. And we went to a mountain trip, hiking trip yesterday, day trip, 7 to 7, 12 hours. And Slava filmed non-stop. I think he's gonna make a good video. I am planning to upload my video to sponsors and patrons either tomorrow or day after tomorrow. But Slava, it's gonna take longer. But boy, he filmed everything, and he films well. I think he's gonna place it on his channel called Cool Vision. So watch, I'll be there. He filmed me. Don, only a strategic political solution steered by Kiev government and allies side can end this invasion war. No single tactical battle victory will achieve a win for Ukraine. I think that the win will be achieved not on the battlefields. Sumiland, surveillance has shown more Russians leaving Crimea since fuel storage hit 2 nights ago. Traffic on bridges is backed up, leaving Crimea. I don't doubt that. I have heard lots of people trying to sell their properties in Crimea and leave. Um, well, it's a pretty logical thing to do if you ask me. Dracula from Czech Republic. Yes, the map really had been showed and there was more. It shows that they wanted to go to borders of Germany. There was even Greece, probably because of the similar religion. Um, Draculka. I don't doubt that the map was shown. If you say that you saw it, I mean, you're not lying. But this is there's no absolutely no reason, like not even reason, but why would they take Greece? Why would they take Poland? Why would they take um, I don't know, Moldova? Well, Moldova I can understand why, but why would they attack NATO countries? You know, the Article 5 would be invoked and the entire NATO force would strike down Russia. As it turns out, Russian army is basically a joke. How can they go anywhere if the trucks and tanks simply don't roll because they're broken? You know, they don't have spare parts. The logistic is not there because everything's been stolen. How can they go as far as Greece? You show me how Russian tanks will simply roll to Greece. You know, forget about fighting, annexing, or invading, or, you know, killing, but just show me how they're gonna roll, how they're gonna drive to Greece. And it's a joke, really, you know. George Roberti, if you could settle anywhere in the world, where would it be? If I had one place and it was up to me, I would go to Texas. Texas, because everything is bigger and better in Texas. Alien overload? Pretty interesting question. How will Putin react when Crimea is liberated by Ukraine? I think at that point he wouldn't care. He'd be concerned of other things. Just Terry, thank you so much for the gift of memberships. Thank you. And Amir, also, thank you so much. You and Terry, between you and Terry, it's 10 more new members. Thank you. KJ1, thank you. How is ruble exchange rate and interest and rates going now? Doing now? Do your Russian friends complain? Interest rate hasn't changed. It's still at 7.5. For third or fourth quarter, Russian, not just not quarter. I think for the third quarter, Russian bank hasn't changed the interest rate. The exchange rate is down to 82 rubles per dollar, which is expected. I've been telling it for a long, long time because this is what they're gonna do next. They have to make up somehow the loss of oil and gas revenues, and this is the very simple and easiest way they can do. So that's what they did. They have done. They have an increased exchange rate. Therefore, they're selling the same amount of dollars, but getting about 30% more rubles, so they can pay army salaries, policeman salaries, KGB salaries, and so forth. My Russian friends complain. Good question. They complain not about the exchange rate, but they complain about the prices have gone up. Food prices have gone up incredibly, but up to 50% in fairly short amount of time. And that's what most complain. They say, well, everything's become so expensive, you know. And my reply, well, I don't reply that way, but I always want to say this. No shit. You know, really. And what made you think that the prices would not go up? And, you know, I usually don't say that because it's just doesn't make any sense to argue with them. I'm not going to change their mind. They would have to figure it out for themselves. But that's what they complain about. Mush dogful. Westerners like to say we scrutinize government, but really we only scrutinize the opposition party. We don't hold leaders from our own party to adequate scrutiny. Thank you for information. That is said. Whenever in the American Southwest, try a Navajo taco. A fried bread topped with chili band cooked with hamburger and the usual taco condiments. Making me hungry right now. It's past midnight. I will not eat. Thank you for your advice. Navajo taco. I will check it out. Lang. Australians are friendly, great people. My experience of an immigrant in Wyoming. I lived in south of USA for a decade plus. No gun problems. Thank you, Ling. I have a couple friends from Australia. They're real nice people. I have not met one mean Australian. I have not met one mean Canadian. That's, that's the truth. Okay. Brian BB, what is the chance of a draft age man from Moscow, St. Petersburg being drafted? What do you mean, what is the chance? The draft, well, it's not draft, it's mobilization. It's going on. The chances are high, okay? Every single week, I personally learn of a couple people that someone knows in the breakfast club who were mobilized. You know, once in a while, rumors, here in Tashkent about, oh, my friend's friend, my friend was killed, brought back in a coffin. What do you mean? What is the chance? 100%, I should say. It's just a matter of time, sooner or later. Some people sooner, some people later. I'm sorry, folks. I gotta wrap it up. Start falling asleep. Citizen X, if they want Alaska back, come and take it. Molan Labe, I wouldn't I wouldn't come and try to take it. you know. Snowbird in Utah, definitely. Snowbird is the place of 2002 Olympics, definitely. It's one of the best snow there. It's powder all the time, it's very dry. That's what I heard. 0812, thank you, man with dignity. We'll see. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate the support and I appreciate the words. Absolutely priceless. Thank you. Last call. Thank you, friends. Thank you so much. I'd like to pray and invite everyone to pray along with me. It's a good way for me to end Sunday, and I think it's a good way for us, all of us, to end the week. Let's do it. Thank you so very much for joining me today in message and in prayer. Dear Lord Jesus Christ, thank you so much for giving us this day and this week. Thank you for putting food on our tables and giving roofs over our heads, surrounding us with people that we love, who we love and who love us. Thank you so much for giving us a gift of our children, as that's the best thing that happens to all of us, to any adult. Please keep our children safe and healthy and give us wisdom, enough wisdom to keep skies above our children's heads peaceful and quiet. And please give us wisdom to raise our children so when they become adults, they will make this world a better place and they will never fight in wars, any wars. Dear Lord, please help stop the bloodshed in Ukraine. The country and people suffered so much. They need a break, they need peace, they need future, they need rest. Dear Lord, please reach out and touch the hearts and souls of people who you need to touch so the bloodshed ends. Please help every single Ukrainian that has been affected. Answer their prayers and make their wishes come true. Please send every Ukrainian an angel so the angels keep all people out of harm's way. Please help my country, Russia, send the army of strongest angels with the sharpest swords, led by Saint Michael, so they will come down and get rid of the demons that have hijacked my country. Have angels run Russia, make it peaceful, make it good neighbor, make it right. Please send safe travels to everyone traveling. Send refuge and help to anyone seeking for asylum. For all refugees, please help the hungry ones, the sick ones, the jobless, the homeless, the depressed, the ones with low self-esteem, the ones that are simply not feeling good about themselves. Shine your heavenly light upon all those people. Send everyone recovery. Send warmth, your heavenly warmth. Surround them with your warmth and send love to those people so they feel better about themselves. They get more confidence. They get healed, uh, their bodies and their souls and their minds, and they feel good about their lives again. They stand up on their feet and they will have another chance at happiness. Please help all the Ukrainians who have been affected by the tragedy, who have fled from their homes and who are without electricity, hot water, heat right now. Please send help their way as soon as possible. Dear Lord, please help us all. Send us peaceful skies above our heads. We really need that. We only understand how important peaceful skies are after we lose them. So please, make it so we never lose them. Make it so the skies above our heads are, all of us, are always, always peaceful, no matter what. Thank you. Dear Lord, I would like to ask for all pregnant women who are trying to make a decision to keep their babies or not, reach out and talk to them, all of them, so they make the right choice. Thank you so very much for bringing us all together into this community. Thank you for allowing us to pray. Please help everyone who is praying or simply watching us pray. Make their wishes come true, and answer their prayers, please. I would like to mention a few people who need your help. They are Rod, Sandra's husband, Greg, Jim and Shirley Hall, Delaney and her two daughters, Ann Larson, her family and her daughter Diane. Her daughter Hannah, Florentina, Caroline Raidnor, Patty L, Mac's family, Sherry Morin, CKOC, Brian Wilkes, Amir's uncle Dicky, Liz Dumbrell, and her grandparents, Ripted, daughter of Aspen English, Matthias. Hope all is well with him in Africa. Ruth, Paul, Susan, Rudy Kaisley, who is going in for a surgery. Please send your angels to help him tomorrow. Darla, Bib, Paula McDonald, Santa's Whiskey, White Lightning, George Roberti, Dave Strains, Pam, Wayne, thank you for helping him. He still needs your help. Shirley, Debbie, Jen Allen, Finola, Lars Henrik and Lars Henrik's mother, Amanda Rednor, the Highwayman, Essie from the Scottish Isles, Outlander and family, Choriz and family, David Porter and family, and everyone who is in Chernovtsi, Ukraine, Lars, Susan Marshall, Beulah, Lazarus, Bas Semen, Alvin's sister, Teresa D, Terry Carter, Joe McMahon, Lee McMahon, Meta Spencer, Deanna and family, Bree's friend, Caroline, Albina Fell, Michael Yukon, Joel, Life, Corinne Vasseur, Pamela J, Daniel 9, Lindsay, Larry, Yelena, Natasha, Jake, Michael, Oля, Dasha, Sky, Igor, Bonnie, Galina, Karen, Jamie, Michael Milkowitz, Marlene, Paul Binns, Richard, Mallory M, Dirk Misler, uh, Linda, Terry, Richard Burris, Angelic at Life, Ian, N2K, Scan Family's grandson, Grace, Barb, Randolph, Nelly, Arkady, and Yuri from Mykolaiv, Harry's family, Verlinda's niece, Ian James, Doug, Priscilla, Michelin, King Nero, Gaby Hyman, Donald, Deborah, Lisa's son, Jade, Kaltenberg, Allison, Dave Moyers, Maureen, M, and her sister, Mr. Hanson, Heidi, Tony, Rob, Matt, Ashley and family, Mr. Dean Spooner and his church, called Our Savior Lutheran Church, Lisa Kumrian, Jacob, Adam Oliver, Amy, Treasure, Kyle's wife, Maggie, Carmen's sister, Vladislav, and his father Sergey, Susie Myler, Gina Wayfarer, Liz, Lori Miles' husband, Sherry, Layla, Philip's mother, and Thomas Fall and his mother. Dear Lord, I'd like to ask for a few special children who need your help. They are Cadence, Maverick, Sebastian, Theo, Maddie, Coulter, Ansley, and 2-year-old niece of Karin Vasseur. Please help them, send recovery, send good health, and help their families. Please help all the children who have been misplaced and affected from Ukraine. Please send help their way, whatever the help they need, and please also send help to the Russian children who have been affected by this tragedy. Thank you so very much, dear Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. My friends, thank you very much for coming. Thank you for your support, priceless words. You are absolutely awesome and you rock. Tomorrow, new week, new day, new month. May is gonna be great. Thank you so much. Please come back tomorrow to watch my stream on May 1st. Before I go, I would like to ask everyone to say along with me the usual Carthago delenda est.